Hey guys, it's Dash here from MoveWell. Hope you guys are going well during this lockdown. This is just a video for the MoveSteady participants. We miss you all, and this is just a couple of exercises and things to consider with staying at home and staying safe, making sure that you're decreasing your falls risk as much as you can. And there's a few strength exercises as well that we'll be going over. So just a couple of brief points to talk a little bit about. Make sure that you have good footwear when you're walking out and about. Make sure that you have shoes that are comfortably fit, ideally lace-ups or something that tightly goes across. Probably avoid loose thongs and things like that. The other thing to note is to make sure that you are wearing your mask correctly. Masks can increase your chance of having a fall if you are walking outside, because it's very difficult to see straight down. So always be mindful of that when you start walking, to look down a little bit more. In the home, make sure that you are very careful with how everything is put around the house. Make sure any walkways that you have are not cluttered. If you have any drawers or anything like that, make sure it's right next to the bed. So if you're putting your glasses down, I'd prefer if you don't have to, for example, reach out and put something down or try and grab them, because that's a good way to end up having a fall out of bed. The walkway in your bedroom to the bathroom, make sure that it's cleared and uncluttered, because that's a very important place where you can have a fall. If you have a walking stick or a four-wheel walker, make sure that it's in one particular fixed spot and it's not on the floor, because I don't want you to get up trying to be reaching for a walking stick or a four-wheel walker and tripping over that. Okay, so make sure that you are very safe in that regard. And a night light is not a bad idea. Okay, something that is automated and turns on at a certain level of low light. That's probably the most important thing. Okay, footwear, yep, we've gone over that. Hope everyone's going okay with stairs. Hold on to the rail and slowly with each step, making sure where you are stepping down and stepping up as well, making sure you're lifting your feet up nice and high. And hopefully, you're keeping to a little bit of a routine. You can do the exercises that I go through in this video a little bit and follow on and see how you feel as you do them. I'll give you some options to make it easy and make it hard as well. Okay, and some safety tips as well while doing them at home. Alright. So guys, one of the first things we'll go over is a little bit of marching on the spot. Now, at Wolper, we have the rails to practice these exercises on. At home, I want you to use either a table that's high enough and heavy enough that it won't go if you were to pull it, or the kitchen bench top is a very good area to try and do these exercises at. So, starting off nice and tall, start by taking some small marching steps, then slowly lift your legs up, aim for 10 on each leg, nice and slow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So repeat that again all together, 20 of them for both sides. Now, if that's easy, you can try and have maybe one finger on the rail and then try and hold for a moment. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you're really good, and if you think you have the balance for it, try and do it with no holding on. So your hands are still over the rails. This is just in case you lose your balance. You can hold on a little bit, make sure you catch yourself. And again. Okay. And if it's difficult, I want you to hold on. Just focus on lifting your legs up as high as you can. Standing tall, I want you to avoid sort of looking down and doing that. Standing tall and lifting the legs up. Okay? So that's exercise 1, marching on the spot. If you want to make it a bit harder, again, if you'd like, you can try 1. If your shoulders have the range of movement, lifting the legs and the opposite arm. So it adds a little bit of coordination to it. Well done. Okay. Next exercise we'll try is the calf raises. So what I want you to do is slowly, fingertips on the rail or bench top, and slowly come up all the way up onto the tip of the toes, and very slowly let the heels come down. Things to avoid, we don't want to go up and then abruptly come down. Just make sure that you go all the way up, hold for a moment on your tiptoes, and slowly down. Okay, and up and down. Okay, and all the way up and all the way down. Well done. Let's do 10 of these. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's okay if you feel a little bit of burning in your calf muscles. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that's a very good exercise. If you want to make it a little bit harder, okay, if you want to try and do it either, let's try not holding, so your hands are over the rails, and let's go all the way up, hold, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and all the way up, hold, bring it down. Okay, another really hard version of this, I'm going to show you sort of from a different angle, is standing up, feet a bit further apart, one leg going all the way up and down. The big challenge here is to make sure that you go as high up onto the tip of the toes as you can. And if you're going to do it single leg, it's important to see how the left leg compares with the right leg. Okay? Now, if this is a hard exercise, I'll just show you a different version of this exercise again. I'm going to move the chair, put it against the wall. Okay? Sitting down, and I want you to sit forward a little bit, put a little bit of weight on your legs, and then just try going up and down and up and down. Works similar muscle groups, but it's a little bit easier because you're sitting down. There's not as much body weight going through the legs. Okay? And again, you want to aim for 2 to 3 sets of 10. Okay? Excellent. So the next exercise we're going to try is something called the hamstring curls. Really working the back of the thigh. This muscle has important functions when we try and lift the legs up. So what I want you to focus on is holding on to the bench or rail. Okay, standing tall, so not sort of leaning forward. Okay, squeeze shoulder blades back and bending at the knee, trying to get your heels as close to the bottom as you can and down. Okay, what I don't want is this. I don't want you to sort of bring your leg up as if you're marching, because that works different muscle groups. Try and keep your thighs together, and 1 and 2, so you alternate, and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 9 and 10. Okay, so first 10 that way, again aiming for 3 sets of 10. Another version of this is to try and in that same position, 1, hold and down slowly, and 2, hold and down slowly, and 3 and down slowly, and 4 and down slowly, and 5 and down slowly, and 6 and down slowly, and 7 and down slowly, and 8 and down slowly, and 9 down slowly, and 10 down slowly. And one last version of this, hands over the rails, okay, just in case you do lose your balance. And then same thing again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. See, it's not an easy exercise. And 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Okay, so the next one we're going to try is the side step and the hip abduction exercise. So these exercises work the muscles on the side of the hip, which have a very important hip stabilization function. So imagine you're walking somewhere and someone pushes you. These are the muscles that sort of come in and stop you from having falling over, if you will. So first thing we will try is standing tall. Okay, I want you to try and take a big step out to the side, put your foot out, and then back together. And then slowly try the other side. Same thing again, and back together. Make sure you take your feet as wide apart as you safely can. So I don't want you to try and go too far and end up wobbling all over the place. It's about making sure that you're able to step out and then back together, holding on a little bit to any surfaces you can. So I've just changed the surface that we're using just to simulate what it would look like if you had a table as opposed to a rail. So we'll try again 10 repetitions on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? Things to note: is it easier to step to one side compared to the other? Is there a notable difference? If there is, this is a very important exercise to practice at home because it has an impact on how you can turn a little bit. Okay? The progression for this is the hip abduction exercise. In this one, what you're doing is standing tall, looking straight ahead, keeping your knee straight, leg out to the side, and back together. Okay? 10 repetitions on one side. Okay, this is a very important exercise for the glute med. Okay, and just really trying to bring the leg out. Things to avoid, okay, I think that's 4. I don't want you to bring your leg out to the side. You've got to keep your pelvis together. And the other thing to note, okay, I want movement like that. Okay, I don't want you to do this where you're sort of counterbalancing your lower body with your upper body. Okay, so we'll just try 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now I'm just going to show you the progression for this exercise. It would be holding on okay, holding, well not quite holding on, but rather having your hands hovering over the rails or the bench, and then slowly, same exercise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice how I'm not sort of taking my leg out as far as I can, but keeping it slow and controlled. That's it. And that's the main bit. You have to feel the muscles working actually on both legs, because one leg is actually doing the exercise while the other one is stabilizing your body weight. Okay? And I think that's approximately 10. Okay? And then when you try and do this exercise, another important thing is to make sure that you are doing it as slowly as possible. I'll show you one last way you can advance this exercise is to try and stand tall. Okay, and let's go out to the side, hold, and then down. Make sure there's something there to hold on to in case you lose balance. It must be a fixed surface, either a bench top or a heavy table that isn't going to slide as soon as you sort of hold on to it if you feel like you're going to lose your balance. And again, focus on that movement. Hold and down. Okay, go as far as you can control. If all you can manage is there, that's fine. Okay, and then back. And up. And down. And then you can try some on the other side as well. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, keep going, and 9, and 10. Okay, so next exercise is probably one of the most important ones and the most essential one if you can. It's the sit to stand. Now I know most of you guys don't mind doing this one, but I'll show you a couple of reminders on the best technique when we're trying this exercise. First thing is safety. Find a chair that you can comfortably get out of and make sure it's against an immovable surface. So something, a wall would be ideal. Something like this. This chair is against the wall. The reason being, I don't want you to be standing up and the back of your knee touches the seat and then pushes it back a little bit and you end up losing your balance. Okay? So it's important to try and be as safe as we can when we do this exercise. The first thing I want you to do, holding on to the chair, okay? Sit on the edge of the chair, feet equal distance apart, and I want you to use your armrest and push off, okay? Nice and big, standing tall, getting your knees as straight as you can, and then slowly sitting down, okay? Letting your legs do all the hard work. And if you want, you can try and hold on to the armrest a little bit and try to sit down as gently as you can, like a feather. Try not to plop into the seat, and then again try and do that 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? That's the easiest version of doing that, and I want you to try and do it like I just did there. Let's just say nice and slow and controlled, letting your legs do all the hard work. A progression to that would be to sit on the edge of the seat, hands across your chest, and then slowly standing up. 1. And again, with this one, it's important to sit down as slowly as you can. Your chest will come forward, but I want you to avoid looking down. Try and look up and down. And 2, and down, and 3, and down, and make sure you're sticking your bottom out, and 4, and down, and 5, and down, and 6, and down, and 7, and down, and 8, and down, and 9, and down, and 10. Okay? Now if you find that exercise easy, one last progression that I have for you, and if you're going to do this one, make sure you're near a table or something similar, just to be a bit more safety aware, because this has a little bit more of a balance component. Trying to put one foot slightly in front of the other. Okay, so we're going to get in this position. Okay, if you need to use the armrest, you can. So try and stand up. Okay, and then slowly sitting back down. Okay. If that's difficult, you can sort of use your armrest just a little bit, move back, and then push up, and then again, slowly feeling for the armrest. Okay, I'm not actually putting any weight through that, and then sitting down. Whatever leg's at the back ends up taking more weight. So it's a good way to see, and the further apart the feet are, the harder the exercise. So if you want just a little bit of a difficult exercise, bring it a little bit further apart, not too much, and then try and stand up and down. Okay, it's harder to sit down slowly, but you can try. Try 5 on each side. 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Okay, excellent. Okay guys, so balance exercises, these are very important. The one I think I'll go over with you guys today, I think this is the one that most people find challenging. It's a little bit more of an exercise for narrow stance balance. So trying to have one foot in front of the other. Make sure you're facing sort of a table or something that you can support your weight on in one shift. I'll show you what it looks like when we're standing one sort of front on. And I want you to try and stand with one foot sort of almost in front. So this will start with the semi-tandem stance. Okay, so this is where the foot is in front, but it's not quite right in front. It's a narrow stance. And try and hold your balance. And again, count to 20 if you want, to try and see if you can manage 20 seconds without losing your balance. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you can even try having 1 or 2 fingers on the rail just to help you balance, or on the table if I may. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, excellent. If that's too difficult, you can try and bring one foot in front, the other foot slightly in front. Okay, and just try and see if you can do that without needing to hold the rail too much. If that is easy, you can try putting one foot right in front, okay? And then again, try and balance in the same way, counting to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay? Don't forget to do the other side as well, so make sure that you're doing both sides. And see if there is a difference, okay? Make sure that it's sort of evened out, or if it is different, be mindful of that so you know when you're walking not to turn when one foot is in front of the other. Okay? And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay? So again, an important exercise. Another one you can try is sort of in that same sort of position, okay? And turning your head. Looking one way, then to the front, then slowly to the other, and back the other way, and again, okay? Excellent. Alright, so this is an important point with the mask on that I want you to be careful about. Now, when I put my mask on, my peripheral vision doesn't allow me to see right below me, okay? I can't quite, the only way I'm going to see is right down where my feet are is if I look down. This is important because if you're doing something, say for example, you're just about to leave the house, you're checking for everything, you got everything, and then, you know, it turns out your phone's ringing over somewhere, or you realize, oh, I forgot my keys, you know, and you're about to move, and you're standing where your shoes and other things are, and there's a trip hazard right there that you don't know anything about, you're very likely to have a fall. So make sure that you look down and then move over, okay? Because how I normally do it would be, you know, there's my phone. Okay, that's a good way to end up having damage, okay? And it's a very simple thing. Same thing with curbs and whatnot. When you get to street level, make sure you look down before you step over the curb. Don't just assume and then hit your toe and then go over, okay? Just make sure that you lift your foot up, look down, okay, for any hazards, especially on the streets of edge clips and surrounds. The pavement is all torn up. Some places don't have pavement that's particularly good, and it's slippery as well, so just be careful with that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm hoping at the start of this video, you know, it's been noted down that unfortunately due to the coronavirus pandemic, we are winding down operations just as a temporary measure, and most of the therapists, your physios and exercise physiologists, nurses and administrative staff are all going to be helping the New South Wales Health to combat the issues with Delta, I guess, just to help with contact tracing and a whole range of other things. So unfortunately, I don't think we will be back for a while still, even though restrictions are likely to be winded back sooner rather than later. So while we're away, please be safe, okay, look after yourself. If you have groups and you have phone numbers, it's always a good idea to give each other a call, just to have a conversation, just to make sure everyone's okay, because it is tough. There is light at the end of the tunnel, we just have to make sure we get through it. and hopefully without too much of a delay we'll be back to look after you guys, and we miss you guys too at Wolper. Okay, so please take care and we'll hopefully see you soon. Okay, signing out. Bye.